backtrack and do it for do this worksheet for June 30th.
Right.
Yes, you've got to make sure that we're balanced on June 30th. That should have really been done on June 25th, balanced, so that we knew.
That's what I thought you were doing with Buddy.
Buddy hasn't been to see me yet.
But he has visited with you about warrants and.
Buddy has not visited with me about anything. Buddy gave me a sheet of paper. Is what Buddy spent all day in your office when Buddy came. So no, I have not visited with him.
Me, whatever your balance is should be balanced with me.
That's right. That's right.
So you should be balancing with me as of June 30th, right?
Right. So we just need to do one of these worksheets as of June 30th.
All right. So while that, I would say scratch everything. I wouldn't worry about July 31st one. I would go back to June, because to make our budget move forward properly, we have to make sure we're all on the same page. And if you rolled over these numbers, it should have been your ending. Now, that's the first thing auditors are going to look for, is if what your ending number is the same as your beginning number. So, but we can still hear your budget requests and let them work that out. So we can still move forward on that. And so we're going to hear everybody, and I'm going to follow along in the order that they are in our budget. I've got last year's budget in front of me because we have not got with our deal. So first up is our district attorney. We would like a copy of your budget, please.
Oh, I have it.
Turned that in already.
Yeah,
okay. Here. Very good.
Here, if you guys want.
Cindy, did you happen to make copies
Well, I did
of
on. I don't know if I did on him. Now here's some of them I made copies of, but I don't know if I did
Well,
on his.
when we come to them, you
Okay.
can hand it out. I'm
Okay.
going to go over there quickly. I'm going to go over and make copies of this quickly so we all have copies of it.
Here, she's on page 4A.
4A.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. There we go. We're in business now.
Yep.
Who's after the DA?
County Sheriff.
And I have here the cat copy.
Followed by County Treasurer, County Commissioner.
Cindy, there's the original for your reference. Sorry about that.
Okay, there should be one copy for every elected official. There's 2 copies there. So Stephen, whoops, I gave you my copy, Cindy.
Maintenance and operation capital outlay, both of those expenses are expenses that are reimbursed from the district attorney's office. The other item is the law library. That's the only item that you guys consider with all the other items that are before you that an item that can be reduced. And based on the law, operation and capital outlay, those are the same as last year. The only thing that's been changed is law library. That's addition has a 3.5% increase based upon Westlaw contract prices.
Okay. Alrighty. And alright, and we don't have a copy, Cindy. I guess when we get ready, I would like to have hit their expenses so we know
Yeah,
what they spend.
I think most of them are filled out on.
They
yeah.
do. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we have heard from the district attorney on the law library and on his M&O. The next one is the county sheriff. May we have a copy of your...
I think he's got the copy.
Pass those three down.
And there was a little issue, last year's budget, I believe, when everybody's budget went up that 10%. For some reason, when ours went up that 10%, we didn't.
We only gave you the 10%.
Huh?
We only gave you the 10% to do it, yeah.
And somehow in that budget, like the 401k contributions, I don't remember if it was safety awards and longevity, those didn't somehow go in or were included, so we were actually just about we're $6,000 short on that last year, and that's where that change is. So I specifically made sure these were added into that number this year.
Do you have a copy of what you spent last year?
Do I have it? Yes, I don't have that in front of me. I'll bring it to you. I don't with me.
Okay, when you sent, we ask everybody when they to fill these out so that we know exactly what the top part is a very important part of our budget
Is that
process.
copy still in your office? That extra
I think
copy?
I filled one out for him. Yes, it should be. Let me see if it's in here.
It's sitting on my desk actually.
Yes, I did that and calculated how much his salary was and how much to know that. Okay,
Somehow the accounting was off. We actually had expenditures coming out of our payroll account that were not ours.
Just says
So far,
right
don't
here.
get us bring to us.
This number versus
Give me an example.
Like extra insurance payments for an employee was like $600 a month. Were
Hi,
randomly
can you come in? I need to
out.
go
Of course,
find
we
something
didn't
on my
realize
desk.
this till the end of the fiscal
Thank you.
year. But our
It's
numbers
different
for
than
the records
these.
we kept in our office were 6,000. Showed that we should have had $6,000 more in our account than what was actually left.
Okay.
And and that's a big number, and I understand that our office looks tremendously large to everybody else's office, but you have to understand that, your offices run 8 hours a day, so you can take what it takes to operate your office, if you operate like our office, and times that by 3, because the expense never ends. I mean, just for an example, you guys budget us for personal services, which is okay, which is great. However, understand that statute still says that you must fund our jail. Well, it's your jail. We manage it. But I've spent, just this last fiscal year, I spent $19,000 just out of cash funds that we've been able to generate on that jail and inmates that aren't budgeted funds. The statute says should be budgeted funds. So, and I'm not asking for that $19,000. I just want you to take that into consideration with the increase in our personal services over last year. So that's all I'm asking you to think about. At the very least, to come out the same this year. I think I need 7,000 more than last year for sure to come out and break even from where we were last year. And I'm glad you're here because I feel like since I've been elected sheriff, by the time the excise board receives the numbers, I think you guys assume that us as officers agree with those numbers, where a lot of times in the past we never knew what those numbers were that we presented to you. So I appreciate this process this year. So thank you as the board for discussing this and that. So.
All right. The treasurer.
All of you have a copy of my expenditures at the top for the 17-18. You also at the back have a copy of my financial statement for the resale property fund. On the very first, for the actual treasurer's account, I did expend $135,705.50 for the 17-18 fiscal year last year, which was my budget. In addition to, there was $14,376 out of the resale fund that came out for part-time help in my office. I did spend.
Did you say 14,000 or 1,400? I'm sorry, Penny.
14,000.
14,000.
What I receive on part-time help and what I've received since I've been the treasurer for the last 12 years is $1 for my part-time help. And I would like this year to receive the actual $15,000 for part-time help. I have never asked for it, but this year I am asking for it. We are looking at the salary of the principal officer, which is just going to be off of the evaluation. So that's just a done deal. That's our normal salary. But for the first deputy, I am asking for an increase from what our salary was last year of $13.65 to actually $15.50. And I think that that's fair to our first deputies, especially those that have been with us for a very long time. That would increase it, quite a bit, and rightly so. Some of them have been with us for 8-10 years without a really big increase. Of course, our safety awards, our 401k, which we're very grateful for. Travel and hotels, we do get $1,000, and I'm grateful for that. Our statutory travel, which is going to be split out completely from our regular travel due to the chart of accounts this year, and that's a good thing. That keeps us from spending that on anything else other than statutory travel. Looks like that my personal services are going to amount to $110,651.94. I am not asking for anything extra on my M&O this year, nor am I asking for anything extra on my capital outlay. My rental and leases will be $1 as it has been in the past, so I'm not asking for anything extra on that. The only thing extra I am asking for is the increase to the first deputy's salary and the part-time salary for extra help in my office. I would like to be able to collect more of the unpaid taxes that we've not been able to collect in the past. And so that brings me to a total of $128,652.94, which is less than last year's budget, even with the increase of the part-time help.
Okay. the way these work is these numbers here are all last year's numbers. This number here is what you're asking for this year. This is just your explanation. So,
No, that's not what I'm asking for this year. That's what I've spent last year.
okay. So I'm just telling you the way you fill your form out.
Is that not what you asked for last year?
All these numbers over here are last year's figures, and over here are what you're asking for this year.
Well, but it says report of prior expenditures and estimate of needs for
This
last.
this was your estimate of needs last year.
Nobody filled it out that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope.
No.
That is the estimated needs, and I understand what you're saying, but it's a report of prior expenditures and estimated needs. But those were our prior needs.
Right. These
For
are your
last year.
these should all be your last. If you do it, there's a form. It's electronic. You do it online and you fill your form out and you fill all these numbers. They automatically carry up here for you. They do.
Okay.
So
That's
this
the way I
is
did it. That's
yeah
how you did it?
yeah. That's the way the form fills
If
it out.
you do this part first.
Yeah. You put in all your old numbers up here, and then you
I think
put
I
these
got 'em all
numbers,
right
and then
except for
they go
what
up there.
I took it that, okay, this is what
Yeah.
you asked for last year, this is what you're asking
Okay.
this year. But
Well,
anyway,
I'm sorry then.
That's okay.
Maybe if we
So-
sat down and did it
Yeah.
all together, then it might be the same.
So, because if I give these all to Buddy,
But, yeah,
he's gonna take all these numbers and put them in. That's exactly how he's gonna put him in.
they'll have a better budget.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I can change those, however,
Okay. Okay.
I just wanted, I mean, you wanted to know
Yeah,
what
this
we
gives me an
spent,
idea.
and-
Yeah, I can. Yeah. All right. Okay. All righty. That's what you're asking for.
Yes.
All righty. So.
And could I please, there was a problem on the audit, my cash audit, with not getting that financial statement for resale signed and back to me. Could you guys please sign that for me today and give it back to me?
we've never,
Is it on our agenda?
Well, I don't, if it's next week, that's fine too, please, but it never got back
I
to
never
me.
got a copy of it.
You know what, I don't care what happened last year, I'm just saying this year.
Yes,
to
I got.
keep me-
Yes. Can we please put that on the agenda?
You'll get one
Yeah.
to me though,
Yes.
right?
You can have one right now.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Put that on our agenda.
okay.
Thank
Do we
you.
need to
Appreciate it.
sign last year's?
That'd be great. I'll
Put
bring
them
it to
both.
you.
Put them
Okay.
both on there. All right. The county commissioners.
County,
Oh, I have.
I've got them. They're
Oh,
on
okay.
there. There's yours. County commissioners.
she writes bigger than this computer does.
The last year, I think I've got enough here for all the elected officials. If one of the elected officials would like to take one, there. I think there might be one there for Alvin as well. Make sure Alvin gets one. On ours, well, the county commissioners' salaries are set by statute. We've added in our matching 401 on that. And then Desi is covered under there. She's getting $13.65 an hour, and we requested a 5% cost of living raise, which would bring it up to $14.33 an hour. I think Penny, you asked for a 13.5% raise on yours.
Yes, ma'am.
My men that have worked for me for 14 years, most of them don't make that kind of money.
I understand that. Mr. Ronk gave his new District 3 help a $15.50.
That's
I
he can do what he
understand,
he can
but
do what
I'm
he
just
wants.
following suit, and I think, I mean, that's a nice wage, and I would like to do that for my help also.
Okay. Well, it's cash account, and I think you pay more out of your cash account
I do.
already. So, and I think, you know, if we can supplement out of our cash accounts, that's a great way to do it. But, looking at the numbers, I just put in, thought perhaps maybe a 5% would be pretty generous. I think 3% is kind of standard right now.
How much is a 5%?
A 5% would raise it to $14.33 an hour. So, and other than that, our statutory travel is still there. You can see by my numbers in there that we did not spend $12,319 of our last year's salary. That's because we paid Desi out of our cash for the first several months before it was a budgeted account. So the only increase our budget is over last year would be, if so agreed on, it would be the increase of 5% cost of living for Desi. Other than that, that's it on the county commissioners. OSU, you have your budget.
Okay, we got a straight page.
Oh, okay.
You have
That's all right.
copies?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's wrong.
So our budget from last year, we did very well on. The only thing that we didn't spend a good portion of the money was on travel expenses, and there were a few things that we just decided we needed to be here instead of traveling to. So we pulled away from that a little bit, and there was about a 3-month period that I didn't have a third person in the office, and that takes out a little bit of that travel budget also.
I believe we increased your travel for you because
Like
last
2 or 3 years ago,
because
yeah.
you were having turnover of people, and we thought that once you get them
Right.
caught up on
And
all
that
their training,
that
it wouldn't.
those new hire trainings are
Yeah, right.
there's a lot of them, so it takes a lot of travel back and forth. So we don't have personnel services because we are paid by OSU. So the contractual services down below is what the county pays for our people. So that this year will be $55.39, and that's if we hire when we hire another program assistant. That's all kind of up in the air right now because of budgets on OSU's level, and they are implementing a hiring freeze. So we may be stuck there for a little bit. We'll just have to see how things kind of play out. However, if we don't get a third person in the office, we will have to have more part-time help money. And so if we can just leave the contractual services where it is and then have to transfer back and forth if we need to for part-time help, if Katina and I both have to be out of the office at the same time. Last year we didn't use any of our part-time help money because we were fully staffed in the office and able to work through those. So other than that, I did not increase, I didn't change anything in the budget. So
Thank you.
Okay.
The county clerk.
And so my figure's wrong on that very last figure, but I will get that corrected. So I too asked for a considerable raise for my employees, and have attached a sheet as to how I came up to those figures. I've also requested that we can pay Jenna's salary out of the budgeted amount, and have attached kind of a spreadsheet or an explanation of what she's been doing in our office. I would also, from Southwestern, Scott C. Had approached us about that we have a lot of, wait, that's on my recording, never mind. Paper's going on here. I'll find my original. Other than that, I mean, I didn't really change anything on travel or anything like that, and I did kind of base our needs off of last year's. We did not use all of our budgeted funds, but I would like to, I did put half of the CalPro hardware and software licensing is $10,160. So I would like to take half of it out of here and half of it out of our recording, because it is for the CalPro.
Where has that been paid for
I don't
prior?
It's been being paid out of the recording, and
All out of recording.
I think so, yeah.
Cindy, Social Security is is an account of its own, so you shouldn't
Break
include
that
Social
out.
Security on
Okay.
here. That's in our benefits or our
Oh,
tax
okay.
account. So that's everybody's, like, nobody includes their health insurance or their matching FICA, because that comes out of our benefits. So
Okay.
that doesn't come out of this
So
account,
that-
even though the county pays for all of it, and it definitely is a benefit.
Right.
But that does not go here.
Okay.
So you're asking for $15.50 an hour for all of your
Mhm.
employees as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, our budgets are looking pretty good, guys, but we just cannot go crazy on our wages.
And I get that he can pay what he wants to pay her, but I do have a real burr in my side when we've done nothing but clean up her messes for the last 2 years.
Let's don't get into that. That's this is
But I
not
have
the
a real
place.
problem
This
with
is
that.
this is not the time or the place. So, all right, now the court clerk.
Come in. Thank you.
Okay, well, all I get basically is salary and my travel. And I had basically already had my budget done when Penny and Cindy suggested the $15.50. I just asked for 10% raises.
10%.
Right, with their 401ks, their safety award, and then their longevity pay. And then I included my 401 and then my travel, which is the 4,800 plus 1,000 for meals or hotels or whatever we do. So basically, that's all.
So your estimate need is actually less than last year's. You're
Yes.
showing 126.5. Or excuse me,
No,
yeah, just a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
126.5. Now, if you're giving 10% raises, that's only your 10% raise would be more than
Yes,
that.
but you know what, last year when I first started, because of the way I pay into that, there was way too much money in my account. So it looked like I have a lot of money if you look at last year,
Okay.
and I didn't.
Okay.
So I mean, like the part-time help had like $50-something thousand in there, and it shouldn't have been in there.
Okay.
If you remember.
So I know you're very generous. You give us $15,000 for utilities, and you pay out of your account for your second help. Adrian is I mean,
Yeah, part of it's paid out of court funds, and the
part
balance
is
is
paid out of the but so. And at some point in time, that budget may be cut.
Right.
So the reason we did that is because at one point in time we were concerned if they might say, well, next month you're out. And we wanted to make sure you had the budget there to maintain that.
Right.
That is why that was there. So,
Right.
so you're still keeping that there though for if that happens,
I still
right?
have the money, and I still was, so I,
Okay, good.
With the, as long as I have the money, I will pay it. And right now, I do have it.
Okay.
So I will reimburse the utilities, and then I will reimburse
So-
all but probably $6,000. I mean, I have the money, all but $6,000, just like I did last year. But then I took the $6,000 out of the revolving fund. The court fund gave me enough to pay all of her salary, that's $6,000. And then that came out of the revolving fund.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So can I ask,
Yes.
does he make what our first deputies make now, or does she make more than they make now?
We do pay a little bit out of our cash account. We do.
Okay, that's what I needed to
But
know.
we pay it out of our cash
Your
account.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Cindy,
Yes.
could I respectfully ask that you consider my employees at the low of the 5% if you're considering that or larger for everybody else?
Scott, probably what we'll do with you, I'm going to guess, is we're going to give you an X dollar and let you decide how you know, that's what we did last year.
Sure.
You know, you
I just don't want-
gave some more raises and others none,
Sure.
and you know,
Sure.
we let you. We're not going to micromanage your office on
I
that.
do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I just know that to maintain what we had last year, I need that minimum of 7 more than what we had last year.
I noted that in there.
But anyway, so it would be better, of course.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what would help our budgets, and we could maybe get all of our employees on a budget too, and we could then use all of our cash funds to actually fix the roads instead of paying it out of our, maybe pay all of our employees out of budget. I don't know. Just a thought. Okay, county assessor.
We have 2 different accounts in the assessor's office. One's a visual inspection account, and 80% of it is paid by the schools.
We would like to talk about your 16 account first, county assessor.
I'm just handing them both out
Okay,
right now.
all right.
And the other one is our 16 account, which is Anita and I. So, there, if you, well, I guess I could do that and pass them down.
Okay.
And then there's
Thank you very much. You should have a 16 account and a 17 at the very top. You should have a 16 in account.
Yeah.
All right.
17.
There we go.
Okay, Robin.
Okay. There weren't, okay, up top here, we're gonna go with the travel. I have not broke out my statutory travel and all that like we're gonna have to do for the chart of accounts this year, if I can correct that. We didn't attend a whole lot of classes this year. We were gonna try to do a little bit better, but just the way that they fell this year, we weren't able to attend a lot of the extra training. So that's why it looks like we have so much left in that travel. The only difference is what I was going to initially ask for a 10% raise for my employees, and then I heard of the 1550, so I was going to ask that for my girls as well, because I don't have the ability to supplement their salaries out of a cash account. And everything else is the same.
Okay. All right, thank you. And now your 17 account.
Okay, it's all going to be the same as last year, other than the rates for my deputies as well. And we have the legal that the schools will supplement. We'll do a special billing and a litigation billing for them.
Yes, we paid what, like $5,000 today on the Sandridge deal.
Yeah,
so
it was $4,500 and a $275.
Yeah.
bill.
So are you're keeping track of that and sending the bills out for those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
good.
bill the schools for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. On your capital outlay, is there something in particular you're thinking of, Robin, to buy?
Oh gosh, what did we discuss? We've discussed several things. I didn't take very good notes.
Okay.
You're sure there's something you need?
Yeah,
We were talking about a fax one time.
yes, they said we might have to have a new server for our new state system that we're going to get. But we have to have a certain fax machine or a certain server or something. They talked about it at our Tulsa school. So we might have to keep that in mind.
May I ask how many miles you have on your vehicle?
I'd have to ask Lori.
Okay. I didn't know how old that car was, but you know.
I think it's a 13.
Okay.
2013.
I didn't know if that's
But
something
we are
you
going
need
to
to
need
be.
new tires for that
Okay.
too.
Is it running okay? I mean, I don't know if if it's something you just plan on running the wheels off of it and then get
I
a new
hope
one,
so.
or if you were going to thinking of changing, upgrading or anything like that. I thought maybe that was part of your deal. No, that was not
the car yet because it's still in good
shape.
Good
Okay.
shape, and
But I know we are gonna need new tires, possibly this year. But we do the maintenance, you know, oil changes every 3,000 miles or whatever, so that's gonna really help the life of the vehicle, so.
Okay, thank you.
Can I say something? I just kind of feel like we've been thrown under the bus here, because it wasn't that we wanted to start a mutiny on the 1550 thing, but I mean, our employees are beneficial to us, and they are hardworking, and we just want to do as much for them as we possibly can. We're not faulting you, not at all, but we also don't want you to think that we're just running around trying to get as many dollars as we can.
No, Penny, I don't. I really don't. I mean, you know, we live, and if you got to look at what the pay is for Grant County, we can't say because Alfalfa County was where we had a lot of money, and they started giving big raises, and they're broke now.
Well,
and I would hate to come back in 2 years and say, I know we gave you all big raises, but either we got to get rid of 10% of our workforce or reduce everybody's wages 20%.
Well,
so
you know, we always like to give them something, and I just want you to be aware that it's not that we were trying to.
No, I don't. That's what we're having here. I would love to. You know, I have a hard time finding people to do CDL drivers, because when they worked for the oil field and was paying $25, $35 an hour, and they come to me and I'm saying, I start my people at $10. You know, I got 2 people running mowers, and they're getting paid $10 an hour. Now they're not full time; they're my part-time people, but my full-time people that work for me are making about between $13.40 an hour to $15. No, I don't. I think just my 2 upper ones make over 50. I don't have anybody. Everybody else makes under $15, other than my foreman and my shop mechanic. Everybody else in my district makes under $14 or under $15 an hour. So,
but Moss makes more.
Yeah, right. I said he's my foreman and my mechanic. Both of those do. And, you know, that's my cash accounts, and, you know, and that's why you've been fortunate that you can supplement. You've been fortunate you supplement your cash, you know.
I'm not that fortunate.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, I guess the other thing, too, they don't get, our employees don't get overtime.
Right, they get comp time because it's a budget. It's a budget.
Right,
and there have been months that my employees didn't get paid because I didn't have the budget, and they took comp time. Only if I've got the money do I pay it. But, you know, to be fair, it's going to be really difficult if we do give the $15.50, and I just don't know if we can. That means I've got to give every one of my employees, my men, I mean, nothing. I mean, it takes someone with smarts and know-how and educated to run an office, but you can't take men that work out in the heat every day and bust their backs and pay them less. I just can't do that. It's just...
Well, I understand, but your salaries have never been the same as ours.
No, they have not.
And so what we're asking for is...
And your salaries have never been the same as Robin's salaries.
No.
So, you know, that's fortunate that you can do that. But at the same time, we have to look at what the medium is in Grant County. And if Pat can pay $100,000 if he wants to, that's his cash account. I can't control him. I can't control the sheriff, you know. So, I can't control Max, you know. So you know, we've got to have a.
Well, I understand that. I can't afford to pay my help what they're worth to me.
Yeah, I agree.
None of us can.
No.
Right.
And we've also got to look at our benefit package. We have tremendous health insurance. Go find health insurance with a lowest deductible as we have, and your copays on your deals. Look how little that is, and they don't pay a dime for that. We're not only giving them their state retirement and matching in on that, but we also have the extra 401 that we're giving, and we're matching that 200% up to $50. I mean, longevity. We're giving longevity. You know, we do a lot of things that you don't see in the line that says because if you actually do that, you can add at least 45 to 50% on top of what they make into what they're paying in their salary. So if you're paying someone $15, you might as well add $7.50 to that in their benefits, because we pay the FICA and the SUTA and the FUTA, you know. And I don't want to. You go out there and you give a 13.5% raise. You're not going to be able to give another raise. And what is that going to do to our budgets? I mean, right now we're fat on oil because we've got but June 8th you did our valuation, and August 8th, and we went down in evaluation. We didn't go up. We went down. Is that a trend? I don't know, but I certainly don't want to continue thinking that our valuation is going to go back up. It may, but it's very likely as they come in and start taking these tank batteries and these pumping units out and all this stuff, that this infrastructure, as it goes down, our stuff goes down
I
as
understand that,
well.
but we also see wind generators coming and coming and coming. We see that too. I'm not.
We may be done with wind generators.
Yeah.
That may be done.
Don't count on it.
Yeah. So,
Big not half.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
it could go either way.
exactly. I wish my little ball, I could shake it up and say, what is next year going to do? But I don't. And so you've got to be
We have
realistic.
to appreciate what we have.
Right. But,
And they appreciate
And they
what
do,
we've
and
done
we
too.
do.
but you know.
And if we could get at least the 5% that you're offering, I mean, that's better than a kick in the butt.
Oh yeah, I agree. You know,
It's more than, yeah.
yeah. And if you don't ask, you don't know.
Right.
You know that's you can always.
We were shooting for the
shooting to the moon, but hey, if we land among the stars, we'll be fine. But we've just got to look at everything, and I know that's probably coming up next. We're going to put a ton more money into our building here. This is a historical building. We cannot let it just fall down and crumble. It has got to be maintained, and we finally had the money, and it's a one-time expense. It isn't going to be reoccurring year after year. It's going to eventually help us on our utilities with our windows and getting everything sealed and our water leaks and all of that. So it's an asset to us, and it's going to continue to build on that. So, if I could, I'd pay every one of mine $25, but I just can't do
I
it.
understand.
So, but we've got to, as we all know, how did they balance the state budget? How did they balance the state budget?
Not well.
Not well at all.
They should have never got in a place where they were at.
You're exactly right. But they took $50 million. They took $50 million. They took $80 million. In total, they took $230 million. And where did to balance? And where did they come up with the $230 million? Out of the county transportation funds. That's where they came up with the budget. So they kicked us under the mat again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's okay. Okay, Cindy, get off your ball. Okay, let's get back to it. We are ready for the juvenile shelter, which we don't have. Okay. District court, we have. The general government, Miss Cindy Sue. What do you have for general government?
Are we on general government?
Thank you for hearing me.
Well, me too. I rant. I haven't had a rant or rave for a while. Okay, well here's recording for general government. So
Let's see. We need 20 account. We're looking for number 20 account.
Let's see. I have them here.
That's going to be Scott's. That's going to be Scott's wages. It's going to be M&O, contingency, capital outlay.
And if not, I have blank. Oh, general government. No, that's that last year's. I don't. I think I have so many papers that I probably are on my desk. Let me get some of this out of the way. Recording, insurance, auditors.
Yeah, you have 20. That's general government. You'll have excise.
Yeah, I have them in. Let's see, should be.
And you'll have insurance.
I may need to go back over.
Purchasing. No, you won't have purchasing.
Okay, I've got the insurance one. I've got the county auditor one. record the balance. Remove the kind of capital outlay and just the general government on the salary.
The general government includes Scott's wages. It has contingency, M&O.
I thought I had that. And my printers, here's the excise board.
That's 21.
Let me go have one of the girls come over. Or I've got a blank one. Can we just handwrite it real quick?
Well,
Or I can go get an account summary, right?
well, yeah, but you don't. You didn't build a budget for it.
I think I didn't. I think I
Okay,
missed
that would be
one.
okay. Let's move along, and we'll come back to
Okay,
that at the
okay.
end. You might have them bring you some paperwork,
Okay.
and we can work on that. We'll move down to the excise board. Do you have the excise
Yes.
board?
Oh, sorry.
And Alvin probably wants to pay real close attention to this one. This is the excise board. You probably are curious what we're going to do with your budget.
We're gonna have to
Did you make copies of these?
I don't know. I made
Okay.
copies, and I'll be honest with you, it's just been crazy.
Okay.
You know,
Go ahead.
I've never been privileged, I guess, to even know that we had a budget, other than the meetings that we go to, probably travel expense and schooling. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Your budget is $5,800,
Well,
and that's for 3 of you.
we need to raise.
But last year you only spent 3,360 of your money. You left 2,440 on the table.
Okay. We'll give it to somebody.
So no, the reason why is because you were very fortunate. You didn't have to come up here for 12 extra meetings for tax protests and stuff like that. So we have to budget that. We have to budget all that in. So
All right, thanks.
why don't we take a 5-minute break to allow to allow her to go get her paperwork, and I will go make copies of all of these so that we'll have.
I
them
make a
for-
motion that we recess for a few minutes.
Second.
Okay, Hess moved, Ronk seconded to take a, let's be back in here at 12 o'clock if we can, please. At 11:50, 48. All in favor? Aye.
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 Wrong. Yes.
Aye.
Cindy, the ones you have here, I will go make copies of. So
Now these I have copies of, there's county budget. So these are copies. I've got copies of insurance, and I've got copies of recording.
Okay, so you
So
got,
I need-
well, I'm gonna go ahead and
I know, I've
give,
just
so
got piled
recording,
everywhere.
so
I still
recording.
need-
So you got, so Cindy, you got a lot of them. You have,
Dean,
you
how's
need
it going?
county general, that's 20. You have insurance?
Yeah, I
that's
have
20.
insurance.
Okay, then you have, charity, number 20.
Yeah, I have charity done.
Okay, got that one. Then, your recording, 30 account.
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay.
Just getting used
And
to it.
then library should have,
Yeah, I
tho-
have those, and they're
those are turned in,
signed.
okay.
Yeah.
Then, he'll have the emergency management, and
I've got the auditor one.
you got the, the
County
audit,
auditor. That one's
the
done.
audit,
Mhm.
and then we should free fair, she will probably have, or did they who turned in free fair?
free fair?
Did they
Oh,
turn
no,
in?
I have free.
Did they turn in free fair?
She hasn't turned it in.
No, they haven't turned it in yet.
I just asked her a little bit ago. She said she
Yes,
never
and I-
gets that.
No budget, no budget, no
That's
form,
what
no
I-
budget.
That's what I said.
Okay.
You better get your
And
together.
there should be one, and I don't see it, that our building maintenance, that's our,
Oh,
where we're gonna put that 2 million
yes.
in there for
Okay,
the.
okay.
Well, you have to carry over last year's, and then we're gonna add another, so you need to ask, last year we had 2 million, so you need to put another 1 million in there for the inside of this
Okay.
building, so you need to make it, just make it 3.5. Just make it
Okay, on
3.5.
the,
And Sherry,
that was
on the-
improvement.
we need
yeah,
to-
capital outlay.
Yeah.
We need
And
to
there
be sure
should be
to
one
add,
for the, where do we pay the shelters for the kids that are on, the bad kids? What,
Oh, the
what is
juvenile
that?
shelter?
Juvenile.
juvenile.
Juvenile,
That's right at the
that's 18,
front.
but they don't even see that we ever have
That'll
it.
work
Where do we
then.
pay
What's the
it?
name of the account for
Oh, got you.
Bad kids.
Did we change it though?
And we need,
Juvenile services?
we need to be sure to add on for the monument down there for the
That'd be under
deceased.
charity.
I make a motion we come out of recess at
So-
12:07.
Second.
Okay, Hess moved, Ronk seconds to come out of recess at 12:07. All in favor?
Bobbin,
Aye.
Ron,
Aye.
Hess.
Aye.
We are officially back in our meeting. So Cindy is still going to work on a couple of things. So we will move on down the line till she returns. The county election. Robin, we are ready for your budget. Put that in her deal over there.
Okay.
Let me see that for a second.
Well,
All right.
The state statute allows for a minimum wage for county election boards. And it also allows each county to pay their election board secretary whatever they want. They're not held to that statute minimum. So I asked my regional coordinator, am I an officer of county? And she said, yes, in every sense of the word you are, except for what you get paid. So what I did was I took, let me back up a little bit. This first page that says the money that comes into your office, I was like, we don't have a cash account, but we do have this forfeited filing fee account. And that is forfeited filing fees, just what it says. But we're not allowed to spend that on anything except for technology or things that help run the elections. And this last year, for $3,300, we bought new computers, which kept that money from coming out of our budget, obviously. So, at the minimum salary that I get, $22,667, the election board reimburses us as a county $30,600. In May of next year, the salary will go up to $26,295, and that is just about half of what an officer makes here. And at that time, the increase from the state will be $35,498 reimbursed to us. So what I did was I took approximate amount of what I thought an officer made, and I divided that out to find an hourly wage, and then I multiplied it by my hours. It's just a 30-hour week, which doesn't, that they always say, if you're on salary, you pay for you work all the hours. So I multiplied that by a 30-hour week and came up with a salary for the secretary, and then I had the salary for first deputy, and we've done just about all we could do in that office as far as capital outlay or M&O. So there's not a whole lot there, but we do need some things and some part-time help as well. So that's really been trimmed back. But the salary that the budget that I requested is $64,650. And of that, at this current salary that I'm making, $22,000, $30,000 of that will come back to us. So in this budget, which is everything I could ask for, it only costs the county $34,000.
When we get reimbursed for you, we get a percentage of it, and that's your health insurance.
Right.
That's your ambulance service. That's your retirement. That's your other 401k. So no, that $30,000 that we get reimbursed is for your whole package of benefit.
Right.
It's not just your wages.
Right.
So,
it's 135% of our salary.
Right.
Is what that amount
Right.
is. So I didn't put any. I didn't take out benefits. I just put that number down as a starting place. So I know that all of that will come out of
that comes out of a whole nother account.
a different amount of that. So okay. that makes sense what you're saying. But
Yeah, because you can't just say that you're only giving me 22,000 and the state's giving you 30,000, because that's not right. We're paying a whole lot more than the 22,600 for your position.
With what Cindy just said, that changes the way I was figuring it somewhat. But
Sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
what we get back, what the state reimburses us, leaves Brenda and I as worth $17,000 apiece. And if we move up to the next amount, no. If we stay at the statutory rate, it means we're only $9,000 per person in value, doing the numbers the way I did. And it's really hard to work as hard as we do in a difficult situation and not feel we need some tangible show of understanding that we do work very hard, and that I am an officer and she is a first deputy, and I just respectfully request some consideration for this budget.
And you're set by state, and I know in past years, Robin, when you were not here, that your office received numerous raises when we did not, because we did not have the money. You know, there was years at the end of the budget, if we had $25,000 left over, we was hoping our roof didn't fall in. Penny, can you remember those years? You know, we paid for everything out of our cash accounts. We did with very little. So, and like you said, you're going to get a stepped-up raise in December or November, and then you get another one in 4 years automatic. I mean, they're going to...
But that is not...
Yeah.
Even the state realizes that amount of money is not commensurate with what other officers make, nor is it appropriate for the amount of work that it takes to do the elections.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I mean, like I said, if I could pay every employee $25, that'd be my top priority, but with our budget, we've just got to work within our means, and Grant County by no means is a high cost of living compared to...
The budget is barely over what it would take for one officer. So
what are you asking for your salary?
Did I not say that?
She's asking $34,500
for her salary.
For her salary.
Which is if you take this officer salary and divide it out hourly, multiplied by the number of hours I work, $34,500.
And we're getting reimbursed for how much?
We get back
$25.50, $12 a month.
Yes.
But that's for all. That's her package deal. That's everything we have to pay. We don't get paid back for. In fact, it costs us. When they set up the deal on reimbursement for 135%, basically that was saying that counties were not supposed to be out a penny for that. But over time, inflation and everything else has not kept up with that, and they still only pay us back 135%. While they keep legislating more things, unfunded mandates.
Yes.
We can get back on that. Unfunded mandates. So, you know, our health insurance goes up, your retirement, you know, obviously everything else, and we match that. So it just doesn't, you know, the county still pays more for your position.
I think it's $75 a month more.
No, I don't. I think it's about $400 a month. I think it's like 29 something we turn in and we get $25.50, something like that. What it costs us.
But what I figured, sometime or another, I came up with numbers, and it came out to be like $75 a month was what the county pays for me.
Well, we can
What
get.
does Brenda make? What are you asking for Brenda a year?
25. Let's see.
You're asking $15.50 an hour for Brenda?
Yes.
Okay.
See, she gets 90% of what you make, and see our deputies can make 90%.
90% of the statutory.
So every time you get a raise, she gets a raise.
From the state, yes. Yeah. Hers will go up when the secretary's goes up to, what is it, 26, hers will go up there.
Is that a statute that she has to make 90%?
Yes, that is a state. But of the state, what the state says. And if you do me a favor and please email me what the state requires your payment through the year for each month, what that is, so I can. What the state requires what your payment is. I think we pay more than what the state requires right now. Right now we pay high. We pay more.
Do we pay more than?
Yes, we pay more. Your wages are more than what the state is set by
I think
statute.
Kathy said it was $25 more than.
Yeah, we got into that with Harvey. When
Yeah,
Harvey
it's,
was
I don't,
here.
it changes, so if you'd please
Yeah.
do the homework for me and tell me what you get paid and what the statute requires you to get paid, and for Brenda,
See
that
what
would help
differences
us,
we have.
that would
Okay.
help us. And going forward, when the raises goes into place.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's see, insurance, I'll have to wait for Cindy to come back for the insurance.
Can I reiterate something?
Yes.
else against my budget? I've been sitting here thinking, I know everybody's like wanting more. But I got to thinking, you know, since it's not possible for me to give any extra cash money, if the board would consider maybe giving my girls in my office maybe more than the 5% raise, if that's what people get, but I just would like for you to consider that. Because I want them to make what Penny's girls make, what Cindy's girls make, but I don't have a way to fund that. So I just wanted to see if you would consider that.
Well, so if we do that, and I think everything's consider Robin, but I think everybody pays different amounts. That's the problem. What, Penny, you pay 15 now? Is that what you pay now? 15? So I don't know what I think.
My girls get $13.65.
Right, and I think you girls get 15, don't you? Didn't Cindy give you?
I think, well, we get a little extra, but I'm not making 15.
Okay, so see, everybody does something different. So with your cash accounts.
Hour, or she is paid by the hour. Our girls are monthly.
Yeah, pennies are true hourly.
Yeah.
They are true hourly. So, I mean, you know, even though we're all monthly, yeah, it doesn't matter for us. So.
And I may have to have you come back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. With that being said, we can backtrack. We will go back to County General. Okay, I have these. Okay, these are them. All right. Thank you.
Now that's one I did.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's awesome. And then we got to give one to Alvin, and you keep one. The rest of them don't worry about.
General government.
This is general government. Okay. Okay, Miss Cindy Sue. Let's walk me through it.
20.
And so I did it the right way this time.
Okay. You should
okay.
you should have kept one of those copies. Did you?
Yeah, I
keep one?
kept. I have the original.
Okay. Walk
yeah.
us through. Okay.
Okay. So.
So the personnel service will be for Scott.
Let's see. What did I do? I got. I have the original.
Contingency is just an unknown because that's where our savings go.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so we looked at the figures from last year, and now the part-time services. There wasn't room for the.
Well, I hope we're not going to do $360,000 in part-time
But
services.
there wasn't another place for me to get it up in there, and that is the. Hold on, just a second.
360. We're doing 360,000
was
in
the
part-time
reserve.
services. No, I'm kidding.
I want to increase my budget.
Robin, I think we got you covered.
The reserve requirement.
The reserve requirement. Okay,
That's what that is. 1B is reserve requirement.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that is, if you, for those that have a copy of this, mark out where it says part-time help, and that is that reserve. And that reserve, if you all will remember, started in that lawsuit that we had several years ago and was finally settled. And we took that money and just stuck it in an extra account just to let it sit there so we don't, it always makes us remember that lawsuits, whether they last 12 years long, they finally pay off in the end. So that was a 12-year lawsuit, and that's what we got out of it. So just that's what, and Cindy, that is very time sensitive, and it still needs to be that exact dollar.
Oh, the
number.
exact dollar.
It does need
Okay.
to, because that is the exact number that we got, and
Okay.
it has a meaning. And
Okay.
if you round it up, somebody in the translation is going to lose what that means.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So
So on Scott, what did you do on his wages?
I increased it by the 5%.
5%.
Mm-hmm.
5% COLA.
And then
You
the
didn't ask
other-
$15.50 for him?
Sorry. I'm not his boss.
Okay.
But I will if you want me to.
No. Okay. and travel. And the travel is for him if he has to go get parts. And as you can see, he spent $251.70 last year, but we just keep the $1,200 there because you never know.
Right.
We try to use our county vehicles or something. I know Brandon's ran and got parts, and we've ran and got parts, and Max, and we've all ran and got parts. So M&O, we're just estimating $130,000. Capital outlay at 73. Is there something in mind there that we're thinking on that?
No, I just stuck
with what it was last year, the same. Okay, and the rest of it's pretty much what it was last year.
The rest was just the same.
So everything's pretty much the same, except you included a 5% cost of living for Scott. Okay, very good. Got that one done. We did the exercise. Insurance. Cindy, I've laid these all out, so you should be able to pick up this stack, and these should be these should be insurance, and I've tried to put them in order there.
Okay.
So, all right. And pass one down to Alvin, please.
Makes us even.
So I guess so last year in maintenance and in operations, we had a budget of $805,000, and we paid out $648,327.21, leaving unencumbered $198,165.91. What we had put in, so I have this wrong, but just FYI, the requested amount had been $865, and we were given $805. So the amount we're actually requesting this year is $836. And I just kind of had at the bottom, just kind of rounded things up, and workman's comp and unemployment, retirement, FICA, tort liability, and health insurance, and came up with $836,000.
Yeah, we know our tort liability went up. We know our workers' comp went up, and we know our health insurance went up, and our FICA and retirement. When you start talking about giving raises, you've got to remember that everything goes along. All of that. If you give a raise, that means we're matching more on our retirement, and that means we're matching more on our FICA, and so that so that's probably good. But when we get ready to finish this, Cindy, I actually need them. Yeah, we'll need them broke down here, like you've got them. Very good. Okay, very good. Alrighty, got that one down. Yeah, our health insurance benefits last year, people, are on our insurance, just our insurance. Last year we spent $648,327 for insurance here. Now, that's our people that we've invested in to make sure they're taken care of. So that's an investment in our people too. No, our health insurance was around about $250,000. So that's our health insurance. So, all right, we are now ready. We are now ready for charity. That's a new one. That's a new one. I didn't find charity.
I had charity.
You had charity?
Well, but I wasn't finding charity. So let me go. But I had it at and we had it as $5,000, and the only thing we paid out was the $550
for the cremation.
The cremation.
Okay. So it's probably be $5,000. We'll probably have some more cremation, and we're trying to get a stone put up down at the Jefferson Park, a memorial stone. So probably keep that around. Probably have to add a little bit more to that. I'm trying to get that stone donated. I've got a very good chance of getting that stone donated, but if not, it's about $3,000 for a stone to put up there, and then we'll have to put plaques when we cremate somebody, because our plan is if they're indigent, we're required to bury indigent people, but our policy is that if we do, it's cremation only. We don't do caskets and burials. It keeps us from having to buy lots and plots, so we do that. But we're going to put up, like Cindy's got a couple of people in boxes in her office, in her drawer, so that we need to we need to interim and get a stone put up for them. So that historically, if somebody's looking for them, there will be a place that can have the record of where they are interred. All right, so you'll need to get me
I'll get you the form.
charity.
Yeah. I've got it right here, but I'll
Okay, got it. All right. Recording. We're ready for recording.
Just passing around. Everybody needs to have a little quick in their office.
Okay, so
We can look out on everybody.
basically the change on that I requested is that we'd like to do what we're wanting to do is it's to take the old records that are in black with the white print and convert them into white with black print, and then they'll enhance them, and the going rate is like 10 cents an image, and Southwestern would do it for 8 cents an image, and then they could also they would also then index it into our Kelpro where we can have it online and be electronically on and start getting some of our older records.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. How
Yeah.
far back are you on electronic?
That's a Mindy question, but I can buzz her real quick because she can tell you right off the bat.
My other question is, Cindy, why? And you probably don't know.
I probably don't know.
but Mindy is your recording officer.
Oh,
so technically, I would
Her
like to
budget
see. Technically, I would like to see
salary.
her salary and stuff go into
Okay.
the recording budget
Okay.
and not into the county clerk.
Okay.
And my second question is, why would you pay? Why are you paying Kel? Why did you want to split? Remind me. Why do you want to
I
split?
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered if to keep it. Wouldn't it be simpler to keep
Yeah,
it over in
it
recording
would
or
be.
something?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Why don't you redo
that? Okay.
budget? Okay. Because if she's recording, we need to be
And-
keeping that. We need to be keeping where those people are working
And
into
she
what they're
strictly
doing.
pretty much does
Record.
record. Yeah,
Okay.
she's recording.
Alrighty. Okay. And recording. So everything else. You're increasing. See, last year your budget was 11.5, and you actually spent 56 of that.
Mhm.
But now if you could find out how far back you are online
Okay.
and what it needs, because
Okay, I'll just
we
have her
do
I'll
at
get
some
the
point in
information.
time we need to be getting all of those records online. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Library, and we have those are next, and I passed out the library.
Okay.
Everybody ought to have the library. There's two of them. One is the county supports both our libraries here in Grant County. We split it between Medford and Pond Creek. In the past, we have been when I first came on here, we just supported Medford and gave them $1,500. And we decided that Pond Creek is also a public library and we should support them, so we basically split $1,500. So and then upped it a little bit, just so we got it up to $850 each. But they are each asking, as we all know, books have gone up, and it's very important to keep our young people involved in reading. It's a very good activity, so they've each asked for $1,000. And when they do buy books, there is a stamp that goes in the book that says it's a property of Grant County. It's not the property of the Pond Creek
Library.
private.
Yeah.
There's a special stamp that goes in for the books that they do buy. So that's the library. The next one would be emergency manager.
Okay, so I got a few pages here to hand out. I guess it'll make sense here shortly. I prepared two different budgets, and pretty much there's only one difference in the two budgets, and that is down at the bottom where it has hazard mitigation plan account, because I don't know what amount you guys want to set aside for that. So there's the 75% share amount, and then there's the total amount. So the 75% share amount is the first one, which is the $32,812.50, and then the total amount is the $43,750, which is on this second sheet here.
That is going to be a buddy question.
And that's why I did two, because
That's very good.
I didn't understand. Well, not I didn't understand. I just didn't know which one you guys wanted to use. And like I said, I have that documentation here that I can give to you guys also, which is our agreed upon amounts that we did in our NOI. So I can give those to you guys as well.
Okay.
But that's our NOI that we signed whenever we applied for our grant for the hazard mitigation plan. And we're almost done with our grant application. All I've got left are our letters of intent from the different districts, and then we can submit our final application. But whenever we start writing, the way they do it is we pay whatever they charge us, NODA does, and then I have to submit to the state to get reimbursed for that. So we still have to come out of pocket for that. So I wanted that money set aside separately so that we had that in place whenever we had to pay those, because I don't know how long the reimbursement will take. And then I also printed off for the rest of my budget my justification here, because I didn't know. I thought I was told to have justifications ready. So here's my justifications for my account.
I said back up what you're saying.
So,
Look at me.
For the rest of my budget, other than the hazard mitigation money, which I don't know how much we need to set aside, either the $32,812 or the $43,750. The rest of my budget, start off, I did ask for an increase in my salary from last year. Last year I was at 33. I'm requesting 38.5 this year, which is even less than I requested last year. I will say that other EMs across the state have gotten raises this year. The average for them, for their salaries, are $39,000. And I will say that I'm still not asking what the previous EM was getting paid, even though I did take on an additional job title to do. And I'm still making way less than what the previous EM was getting paid. So I do think that you guys should sincerely consider the $38.5, because I think that's very cheap for what I do around here. I also separated out my expenses. So travel, $7,000 is the same as it was last year. I separated that out so you guys could see what it was for: conferences and trainings, conference meals, OEM meals, Northwest EM meetings and meals, and fuel for my EM vehicle, as well as lodging. And then we have the second ones here are my vehicle maintenance. So new tires are roughly $1,000. Maintenance like oil changes and filters would be $600 for the year. And then any repairs that need to be done other than those basic things, I put in an extra $1,000. I did up last year. My M&O was $3,500 and my capital outlay was $2,000. I did bump both of those up to $5,000 because there's a few other additional things I'm trying to get done this year, such as we're swapping over to FirstNet. I'm trying to upgrade my computer. I would like to get some new office furniture in my office as well as Desi's office. I do believe we have the oldest office furniture left in the courthouse, so I would like to upgrade those if possible. It's not going to be that expensive. I also would like to get new lights, some tools, and some equipment for my work truck. I only put $1,200 there because I don't want to put too much new stuff on an old truck, but I would like to make some basic upgrades to it. So my total budget I'm asking for is $55,500. Over the last 2 years, I have saved over $10,000 in total in my budget, which means I've left that money. I did not spend it. I was told when I got hired that you guys would not punish me for being fiscally responsible and saving money in my budget. So I've saved over, I think last year was $6,000 and the year before was also $6,000 that I've saved. So I would like to use some of that money to do these things this year that I've been saving in my budget and not. So that's kind of
Brandon, didn't you just get a new computer? Because you got two new computer screens.
No, I got a monitor.
You got monitors.
And I bought other offices computers, but I have not upgraded.
The Sarah, Title II, can we buy computers out of that since you use that computer? I know, or do they have that dedicated computer to that? Or I know you've got a laptop or
I don't have
something.
a dedicated computer for that. That is all LEPC money, so that would have to go through LEPC.
Yeah.
And anything that you buy with LEPC money has to be made available for anyone in the county to use. So like the radios, that's why those are available for anyone in the county to use. Same thing, if I used that to buy a computer, someone could come and request it, and I would have to give it out, which means I wouldn't have it to use. If that makes sense. So that's just, those are my justifications for that.
So your LEPC invoices, brochures, and websites. So should that not be LECCs? Are you charging? You're getting all your stuff, your stamps, and all your postage coming out of that?
Postage and stuff does come out of LEPC account. The website is the county website, which I didn't realize came out of my budget. Which we didn't do that this year. It came out of y'all's budget, but that's the reason
Didn't that come out of the general government?
That's the reason the emails got shut down this year.
What? Who? What?
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
This year. Our county website, the cost for hosting the county website
hosting
has been coming out of my budget, but I did not know that. So our emails and website got shut down for a day because it didn't get paid, because I thought that it was paid for by you guys. That's how that happened. So Tim ended up paying for it, but it normally comes out of my budget.
No. Are you talking about www.grantcountyok.org?
I'm talking about, yes, whatever we use for our emails, whatever website.
Oh, that's not the website. I'm sorry. Okay.
We have to have that website.
Well, that's not our website. That's a different deal. I'm sorry.
It's our email website.
Okay, that's a different deal. Okay.
But I didn't realize that came out of my budget. I thought that was. I got that out of his with that other website.
So now back up. So you're paying for everybody's email addresses?
It had been coming out of my budget until this year.
Which
and I think this year.
Your email.
The sheriff's
He's been paying for it.
Anybody that's on the .org, that has been coming out of my budget.
The other emails are free. It's just the ones that are .org.
Yes.
But it was like $120.
It was only like $120.
It's not. We're not talking big bucks. It's $120 annually.
Okay.
But I just didn't realize that came out of my budget. That's why you guys ended up paying for it this year and I did.
Well, I knew. That's why I didn't do it, because it's $2 a month to have it.
But it is more secure. It is more secure email than what you had.
So that's why that is on there for the website. The brochures are like the.
But you're not paying that now. You're not paying the LEPC. You're not paying that now, right?
For the website?
Right.
Emails. Let's use emails. Let's use emails.
For the email addresses. The Sheriff's Department covered that this year.
So I need an increase in my budget.
Let me note that you want a $120 increase. Okay.
That's why I left it on here, because I figured that would come back to me in the next year. You know what I mean? I would have to cover
I should cover.
So that's why I went ahead and put that on here again this year. The brochures are things like the handouts that I give out whenever we go to meetings or things like that, that I hand out around the county or the community.
So you're getting something printed, or you're not using the copy machine in here?
Well, no, like we got coloring books one year that we paid for that we bought.
Okay.
Different things like that, like things that we give out to the schools or some of those items we have to pay for.
Okay. All right.
It's not that much, you know what I mean? It's $400. But a lot of that I try to get donated or whatnot, as well as like my travel expenses. I've been saving a lot of money out of my travel by getting scholarships or applying for different scholarships so that we can get reimbursed or get those covered. That's kind of how I've saved some of that money over the last couple of years, is by getting those scholarships. Like my hotel stay for the EM conference got covered by a scholarship, as well as my tuition for that
I thought
conference.
the state paid for all of the county EMs, one of them.
They do not.
They do not.
They do not?
No. They pay for, some of them's first come, first served.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, a lot of it is based off of how far away you are from
Yes.
where the meeting is.
You're 2 hours
and it's
away.
also based off of who applies first,
Okay.
and how much money they've got available.
How much they got to spend.
All right.
So,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
and here's the two different ones. I didn't know which ones you wanted, but
Which one do
whenever
you
we
wanna
talk to
turn in?
Buddy, we'll have to ask him what number I need to set aside here.
Okay.
Because I'm not for sure. That's why I did two different ones.
34.
On the grant account, yes.
Oh.
Which that account still, you guys are in the process of setting that account up. So whenever we do get budget, that money has to go into that separate account.
Yeah.
Okay. We are down to. Hang in with me now, Scott. Wake up. We're getting close. We're getting close here.
There is life.
Getting Yeah. Well, I have everybody's attention. Make sure everybody has signed. Make sure everybody has signed in down there. If not, let's pass that around. Make sure everybody gets signed in. So, okay, we're down to the county audit budget. And I just don't know. Maybe I'll just zero that one out, huh? For Alvin. And this one is set by Oklahoma statute, so we really don't have any say on it. It's set by statute. So did you look that up? And
No, I mean, I didn't really know where to go to get it. I looked up what we spent last year, or the year before was
has
23.
nothing to do with it.
Oh, it
has
does.
nothing to do
It's
with
all
it.
by, okay.
No, nothing to
then
do
it's-
with it. So we'll yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
yeah. And then we haven't been audited, so you have to carry forward those amounts for prior years because we have to have those in reserves because we haven't been audited since 14. Well, I know 15.
Okay, so it'll be.
Well, we haven't even got our audit reports back from December of 16.
I contacted
Jesse.
Yeah, this audit is for the state.
No, or county. The state auditor, the state auditors come to every county about every 3 years, and they'll audit 3 years at a
That's
time.
for their annual audit.
That's for their annual audit. So if you exactly, so you get reeled up. So
Cindy, you got the hammer. Thank you.
Okay. So I was going to explain that to you. Yes. So it's for 3 years. So you have to do it. We went through an audit, and they give us 10 days to reply to. They'll write us up and whatever it is, and they'll give us 10 days, and we have to write our answers down and send them back to us. And we did that in December of 2016, and we're still waiting for them to reply to us. And so they're just really efficient. They're just right there.
They're trying to figure out what the Grady County officers make.
And I realize it's been too long. However, we did have one officer that took way longer than 10 days.
Well, you know that we do not have to answer them. There are several counties across Oklahoma that do not answer. You're not required by law to answer them. You are not required by law to answer them. That you can just no comment. You can do that, and it's still up to them to. They have to be timely.
And you know what? The one officer was
Yes.
was thinking that he didn't have to respond to something that was found before he was put in
Oh,
law.
it was you.
Yes, it was. They were wondering about some stuff in 2014.
That he had no idea.
And I told him in person, I'm not going to reply to that.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, that's where we are on that deal. And so every year it's set by statute what they get paid. And they do try to bill us more, and we have to be on our toes and make sure that we don't pay them more because they will try to bill us more. And then we'd probably get written up for
Then you
paying
get
too
written off,
much.
but-
But anyway.
Okay.
So that's where we are. So we've got to, that's set by statute.
Okay,
And we got to
I'll
make
get-
sure we have to go back and get all the
Well,
ones.
she said Cheryl Wilson
So
told me to
we-
come out, so I'll get that.
Okay.
That
Okay,
works.
that's the
And if
budget for
I don't
the
know,
budget maker.
this isn't a huge
Yeah.
thing, but
And then
this
the free
probably I
fare,
need to
we
put
don't
with the
have-
county
We don't have-
general government. They're saying that they've had several elevators that have had
Okay.
electrical things, and that we.
Okay.
So
All
for
right.
1,800, they can fix it.
Well, we'll put that on our agenda.
Yeah. Okay.
Free
We
fair.
are down to the free fair account.
Well, we don't have it. They've done it. They just haven't turned it in.
They've done their account. They've done it, but
Yeah.
they've done it, but they haven't turned it in. Well, I guess there's 0.
No, I don't have it. I know some of the things that are on it, but I didn't type it up.
Okay. Alrighty. So
Lacey and Tim worked on it.
no free fair.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it just slows the process down trying to get everything put together. And we're gonna and I'm gonna try really hard to reach out to everybody to try to get all these loose pieces put back together, because I need your numbers put in the right spot on your deals, Penny. We need to make sure that what we turn into Buddy is the numbers we're wanting, because what all Buddy does is he goes up here on these lines, and everybody make sure you got your statutory travel out on a separate line, because that's a new account number. So make
I'm
sure
not the only one that did that, and
Yeah.
you'll have mine today.
Yeah, thank you.
So
No, I'm not. I
there
don't.
won't-
I'm not.
There won't
I'm
be
not.
any problem with changing.
No,
That's easy.
no. But I'm just everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
There's just all of them.
We need to make them top priority.
Too, and take my statutory out of my travel.
Travel,
too,
yeah,
so
you
I'll
got to
get
do
that done
it.
today,
Yeah,
too.
so we can do that. We can move forward. The building
Building
maintenance building, the capital outlay for the courthouse. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to take that because I want to make sure it was good.
Okay, all right.
Right copy.
So, and it's the same thing. We've entered into a contract, and we're doing our roof and our sealing the outside of our building, and so we're gonna be putting in some more money. Okay, so we'll be adding that so we can be looking at the inside of everything. So we've increased that budget to about $3.5 million because we've only paid a little bit on our first part of our courthouse. So that's where we are on that. So with that, I appreciate everyone. This is just step one of our budget, people. We're going to turn this all in to Buddy. Have him run the numbers to tell us where we are on our numbers, what we have for carryover with these numbers, and so we'll be having some more meetings amongst everybody to be discussing, what we're going to do from here forward. So I'd like to do that like the second week of, where are we? I'd like to look at them like maybe the 10th of September. If I can get it to Buddy. I don't know what his agenda is. He's working on everybody else's budget. But if I can get these numbers, I have to get everybody's reports back to me. And if I don't have one, I can't turn them in. If I don't have the free fare, I can't turn it in. If I don't have one of them, it can't go in. So, because I don't want to give it to him in piecemeals, because it makes him do more work if you give it to him in piecemeal.
When you're lacking them?
No, the free fare.
I had Charity.
Charity, yeah, she's got to find it. So
no, I found it.
Oh, found it. Got
there's
it.
Charity.
Okay, got it. Okay,
but I'm going to have to change the
gotcha.
5,000.
I gotcha. Okay, all right. So we'll go from there. I'll get it to him, and I'll wait on Buddy. I'd like to look at the 10th. I'm not sure he'll get it back to me by the 10th, but we might look at it again on the 10th and see where we are. And the 1550, we got to be flexible, people. We've really got to be flexible on that. And we can't break the county, because once you increase, one thing you can't do very well is once you increase people's wages, you really can't lower them. And I wish there was a way that we could give a stipend. And I'm thinking real hard on this, because this year down at the Capitol there was some legislation passed. I can't remember the exact text of it, but somehow you can tie some increases to job performance. And that might be a way that we can keep your base salary set and tie something to job performance that isn't locked in every year.
Be kind of like a bonus.
Yeah, don't call it a bonus.
No.
Don't call it a bonus. Bonus is a dirty word.
Yeah.
Don't call it a stipend either.
Yeah,
Way too much tax on the bonus.
but it's Cleveland County ran it, and I was running my bill that I was running was to increase our 401 match to $100 instead of being $50. I wanted to match it to $100. Well, that one was running side by side with the one that was tied to job performance, and I thought, well, mine surely ought to be a slam dunk. That one's a little tricky. Theirs made it out of committee, and mine didn't.
I mean, that wasn't just officers, because I read it as officers.
No. Officers are not, because we're set
We
by
cannot.
statute.
We're set by
We
statute.
cannot. We cannot.
Yeah.
It's for employees, but it may be for I don't know if it's just. If it's just first deputies only, or what it is, but Cleveland County ran that. So anyway. Oh, and here's the health department. It's tentative. There's 193 for personnel, 15 travel, 100,000 M&O, and 550 capital outlay. What are they doing? Are they moving?
Well, actually, they're going to. She's wanting to start getting their people out and about in the county instead of just sitting there waiting for business
Like
to
a
come to
mobile-
them.
A mobile deal.
Like a
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, thoughts?
I have one question,
Okay.
if it go with our budget, but the money that you may give to the fair or the building down there, does that have anything to do with our budget?
The free fare, the money,
The $100,000?
$100,000.
Or what?
Where's that?
I mean, okay, that's I
What?
know what she's trying to what she's thinking about. The county, the building, we all know didn't have enough money to cover. So
But there's only just a small, minute, like what, $6,500 or something?
What they're doing is
4,000 and something.
it's basically an interest-free loan by state statute. That money has to go back to county general before the end of the fiscal year.
What are they doing? Well, I thought it was like $6,500 they were short. What are they? Are they short more than
No.
that?
This is on our final payment on the
Yeah.
on the building itself.
Yeah.
It's like 34,000 or something,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, 34,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then-
Oh, because okay, the 30 because I remember now. It's coming back. We bought 40.
It came down? Okay.
Yeah, every month with the sales tax comes in, it goes down. That money that you're short. So
Who did you shut down?
No, I shouldn't have said it like that.
Oh, what?
I told them they really needed to figure out where they were at before they kept incurring more expenses.
Yeah, they went to finish the building. They went out and bought the appliances. They needed the appliances, but I think we kind of encouraged them to get a lease purchase on the appliances. It was like $40,000 for the appliances, but they instead, I think, used that money to do it, and now they're $34,000 short of paying some contractor or something that, and they can't lease purchase gravel, and they can't lease purchase windows or doors or carpeting or paint, but something tangible. But what we can do is it will not affect our budget unless we were short on money. We will have to come out of that reserve, that someplace we'll have to take that money and loan it to them, but it has to be paid back before the end of the fiscal year. So by every month as the tax money comes in, then they can turn around and pay us back.
And if they still don't have that by the end, what will happen is we'll roll that property over to the Economic Development Authority Trust. Grant County can't go into debt. The trust authority can. And then the trust authority can go out and get an unsecured loan from whatever the time starts till whenever that sales tax is over. It's a 10-year. When we voted on that, we voted for a 10-year deal. That would be the end date of that, and then that would be whatever their payment would be.
So you're saying an interest free?
Because it's from the county. We're going to take the county. Yeah.
When we took a loan from the protest account to Grant County to pay non-payable warrants,
that was a protest account. That's different. But this is going to come out of county general. and we can do. We can do that because we used to have knotted warrants, right?
Right.
We had to pay interest because it came out of your tax protest money, and
Right.
that's a very specific and only one reason. But our county general
Can do a
can do it.
non-interest.
This is with
Different.
the blessing of the state auditor and inspector's office, the district attorney.
Well, I've not been, I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything, so
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
assumed that we would be getting
Yeah.
interest from that.
Are they not about done with the building yet?
I thought they were done. I know they've got.
We just need to pay them. I mean,
I think we're waiting to. We're holding the final deal to make sure some issues are resolved. You know, we've got some drainage. We got some little issues that, if you pay them, they're not going to fix them.
Yeah.
So we're holding.
well, that's not true. There's in the contract. There's a warranty.
There's a
Yeah,
year.
there is.
There's a warranty. So
Yeah, but we're.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
But getting them to do
It makes
this.
it a little harder to get them out there to do it. I appreciate you guys bringing your budgets too. And having all them here, it's just been a good meeting, really.
Well, I just, from the excise board, and I was telling Scott earlier, you know, we're fairly new on this. All of us are. And really, you know, going to the meetings that we went to on trainings, looks like this is the way it's supposed to be done.
Yes, sir. It is.
And my assumption before having to go to those meetings was, Buddy sat over here and he said, "This is your budget." Well, I figured if Buddy said it's okay, it's okay.
You
So
missed the good stuff.
we missed the good stuff. But thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, in some counties, the counties do not get involved. The budget, I'll tell you, Buddy probably does a lot of budgets without anybody having any input, because there's not a. If you only got so many dollars, you can only do so much. There's no sitting at the table and say, you know, what are your needs and
But it
what do
kind
you
of
want?
says that we need to do
Yes,
Yeah.
From the excise.
It also says that
If you
the
don't have a
officers
budget board,
do
you're supposed to
participate.
It's for the excise
And we
board.
are fortunate that we do have
Yeah.
a decent enough budget to be able to say these are our needs.
Unfortunately, sometimes when you have too much money, people get mad because they want more. You know,
Yeah.
just
you
because
always have to deal with greed.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, but I would say I don't think we have any greedy among us. We're fortunate. So, anyway, again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about the budget, please reach out to me. I'm going to be trying to work with Buddy to get this moving forward, and we'd certainly like to have our budget done sooner rather than later. So, with that being said, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you all.
That brings us down to item 8, new business. Miss Cindy, do we have any new business that you know of? Max, do you have any new business?
No, the new business I had will go on next week's agenda.
Okay, very good.
I have none.
Commissioner comments. Max, that will bring to you first.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Prepare to write a little.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, it's not that big a deal, and I'm going to keep it short. But we, Cindy and I, was both able to go to Washington D.C. We met Senator Lankford in the airport at Oklahoma City and had a 20-30 minute good conversation with him, waiting for the airplane. I tell you what, the trip was fantastic. I enjoyed it, even though my legs hollered at me for 3 days after I got home. Got to go. We was fortunate enough in our. We went to NACO first that evening. Introduced us to several people. Arkansas was there, an Oklahoma delegation. We went over topics that was of interest to all of us and got to know some of the people. We then in turn went on a tour the next day. That was very good. The White House is, of course, you got to consider we could only go on the first and second floor. We couldn't go above that. And Trump lives on the 5th floor. So, you know, you
How
don't.
many floors are there in the White House?
There's 5.
5. Okay. I mean, I never knew. I maybe knew. But
Yeah. Went through there, took a lot of pictures. I mean, historic. You see a lot of stuff. Always seen the China Room. Got to see it. The Red Room and the Blue Room and everything. Very good. Then the next day, we went.
That afternoon.
That afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about
Went
that
to
afternoon.
went to the White House conference.
Yes,
meeting.
the meeting.
Yeah, the meeting.
And we got to meet. Oh man, she's got the agenda right there, so I'll let you fill that in. But we got to see Sarah Sanders Huckabee, secretary, and that was fantastic. Of course, she's from Arkansas, so they had a little up on us. We had to listen to the SUI call, but that was okay too. And then we had a surprise guest. Vice President Pence showed up. And we all got our pictures taken with him. Expressed interest. He talked about our 2 counties, our 2 states, a little bit, and we really enjoyed that. We got out of there. We just missed seeing the president in person. He was actually doing an interview on a deal because when Pence was talking, the helicopter come in and brought the president in. So we was pretty close to seeing him, but we didn't quite. Anyway, went to, that was fantastic to do that. Went to Arlington Cemetery, walked around there. They had the biggest bomb threat since 9/11 occurred, and evacuated us out of the cemetery. We was there. Did get to see the changing of the guard on the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That was very good. I videotaped it. Walked and walked and walked, and we had to walk a bunch more because they wouldn't let taxis come down there. We went over and got on a train and took it around to the Pentagon, got off there, went to the Pentagon, seen the place where the 9/11, the plane crash did into the Pentagon and stuff. Got out of there, got to see Ford Theater, where President Lincoln was assassinated. Got to see the house where they took him when they took him out of the theater. Went to Senator Inhofe's office for a meeting Thursday. Got a private tour of the White House, not the White House, but the Capitol, and actually got to go out on the speaker's balcony and take pictures. And I'm telling you what, that is impressive when you get out there. Looking down the road to the 3 monuments, the Capitol and the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, all in a line there. Visited each one of them, took a bus tour, went around at night, seen all that. It was fantastic. So had a very good conversation with Senator Inhofe. Didn't get a chance to take his picture with him because his wife called, and he said, I make sure I return her calls. So he got up and left. But did a lot of talking amongst other commissioners. There was probably 25, 30 Oklahoma commissioners that were there. Just fantastic trip. Really enjoyed it. Lots of other commissioners thought that it was very productive. They all enjoyed it. And I'll let Cindy fill in some more blanks. She's got itinerary and stuff there. But I really enjoyed the trip. I think we got to express our concerns as Grant County people and constituents in Oklahoma, so that could be passed on down the line. Questions were asked about PELT payments, about chickens, raising chickens, just all kinds of things. But that's all I had.
What you got, Pat?
Well, my week wasn't near that eventful. we got a new hot water tank here at the courthouse.
Because it was leaking.
That was, what was that, about Wednesday or so?
I think so, yeah.
Other than that, we've been every day last week, and I am not bad-mouthing whatsoever. Every day last week it rained. So
Everybody's
we had a lot of ambition going into last week, and by the time Thursday rolled around, we thought the weekend couldn't get here quick enough because we couldn't do anything anyway. So, but today at 9 o'clock we started chip sealing County Road 925 from the city of Palm Creek down to the cemetery, and we're doing cotton from 925 to 920, and going to run the rest of that load of oil out on 920, and that's going to be our main focus this week, weather permitting.
You said chip and, did you say chip and seal?
Yep. So the new truck seems to be working fine. I called when we were in recess a little earlier. And
excellent.
So it's just operators trying to get used to it. That's really all I've got.
Okay.
Well, I'll piggyback a little bit off of our Oklahoma. There's me and Vice President.
Well, I say it sure is.
I got a selfie with him.
Yeah.
Max was right next. He was 2 down from me. He didn't quite get the selfie, but we got a good. Here's our group picture. There he is.
Oh,
There's
awesome.
Max.
Did you put that out on the website? Or
No, I have
something?
not yet. But it was a very good meeting. I was able to ask a couple of questions. You know me, I'm always got my hand up asking questions. But Chris Minton, I know him quite well. He was with the U.S. Department of Transportation, and questioned him on our $225 million rural bridge grant program. I'm still seeking them to make sure that comes down to counties rather than going through ODOT. He is going to get back to me on that. Secretary Sonny Perdue was there. Again, very good. I asked him about our farm bill moving forward, and particularly about broadband for rural counties. We keep hearing about how they're going to be extending the 5G into the cities, but USDA has some loans and grants out there that's very important for rural counties. He is very, very passionate, very down to earth, but actually I was very surprised. Doug Little with the Department of Energy was good. Jim Carroll with the drug control, I was highly impressed with him and what he was saying on some different things, and Mick Zanis, Deputy Director of Education, he gave a lot of astounding statistics about Oklahoma and Arkansas and where we were on everything, and it's not always about the money, so it was very good on that. Of course, meeting with the Vice President was outstanding, and he came right off that stage and just walked among us. He didn't stand up on the stage. He was just so truly passionate about counties, because he realized that's where the rubber meets the road, and he knows that's what will build and make America and make counties great again. But the most important thing we probably got out of this meeting was this little piece of paper.
Yep.
This little piece of paper was probably the most important thing. We've got direct contact, phone numbers, emails, and we've got the little tip at the bottom how we get put to the top through on our emails. Our emails will always be answered as long as we have a code we put in there.
Cool.
And so the most important thing that counties can do is to have this piece of paper that we will. They said it's about asking questions, and they want to answer our questions. It says that might not be the answer you want to hear, but they will answer our questions, and I do believe that is true. So coming down off that high, this week is going to be another
Back to Grant County now.
No, I love Grant County. That's right where I want to be. But this week, tomorrow is that lawsuit. Actually, today and tomorrow, Paul Matthews is in Kansas City speaking for me at the American Public Works Association conference. I was supposed to be there to speak, but got the subpoena to appear in court tomorrow on that lawsuit, still on the Rothgib deal. If they can ever get that to court, they say tomorrow's the day, but I've only been there 4 times in about 6 weeks and it hadn't been done, so maybe tomorrow's the day we can get that done. And then Wednesday we'll be in Oklahoma City at our ACO meetings, our state meetings. Have a legislative meeting, and our CED and our ACO meetings, and we also have a special Wheat Heart Nutrition meeting tomorrow,
That's tomorrow.
And that's tomorrow. Thursday, I have another meeting. Pat, are you interested in getting on the Wheatheart Nutrition Board? I seem to have so many boards.
I hadn't wouldn't think about it.
Okay. Yeah,
I do Meals on
a-
Wheels.
Yeah.
You have to be on the board if I'm
Yeah,
going to do Meals
yeah.
on Wheels.
So it's
No.
becoming very time consuming. We've taken over the Panhandle project because the director and his secretary absconded with all the money and they went broke. So we're trying to feed. We're trying to feed our own people in 9 counties here, and now we've got another 7 counties out there. And the funding that's what it's all about tomorrow is our funding. You know, how you paying for it, and it's really hard to say close sites. And I'm getting tired of closing sites. I'm going to pass that buck to somebody else. So anyway. Something to consider if you're interested
And
in
who
it.
did you say on Thursday?
Thursday, I know I've
But
got
you have a meeting on Thursday.
I have a NOTA meeting Thursday.
You have a no to me. I tell you, it's just one thing after. Oh no, that's the next week. Let's see. What is it? Oh yeah, we're doing our pre-bid meeting for our Bridge 192 and that Dobson Bridge, and we've got our safety meeting that day too. So that's what we've got. So yeah, another busy week, but it was great to be in DC, but it's probably better to be back in Grant County. So with that, I think that's all my comments.
I make a motion.
Second.
That's correct.
This
13.
is 113. Hess moves. Ronk second to adjourn. All in favor?
Bobbit.
Aye.
Rock.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
All ayes. Motion carried. We are officially adjourned.